Alright, this could be dangerous. Could be our first encounter with the murderer. Or the soldiers, the mercs. This overturned table is covered in orange mildew, scrolling with something. Antiqued office furniture, last century, maybe? Brought down and forgotten, so long ago. This collapse nearby sealed the basement, one can barely squeeze by. Old file folders in the cart, documents silvery within the folds. Glass panes. A series of thick dusty panes of glass. Ooh. Inter-isolary suit jacket. Dressed for the occasion. A muted brown suit jacket perfect for a day at the office or an evening at a cafe. The red rose at the bottom of the jacket breast pocket is slowly wilting. In the beam of the flashlight, a crevice in the wall. Huh. A secret. Stale fabric smell and dust. No one's slept. Whoa. Revolutionary hat. Mazovian socioeconomics. An Ushanka with the Mazovian logo, a pair of deer antlers on its silvery white front. Your ears feel cuddled and cared for by the state. So maybe Mazovia is Russia? Wait, what? This is a portrait of me. Huh? Maybe she drew it? Revolutionary propaganda on the bunk bed, ancient flyers and brochures. These pots and plates are full of dust and spider webs. The same slit window you saw from the outside.
Could this have been the killer's hideout? And this narrow window, the point of origin of the shot that killed the mercenary?
This is crazy.
Outside the window, desolation. Snow falls softly onto the coastal
It's a basement.
sand,
How the hell
where it melts almost
the angle
instantly.
wouldn't make any sense.
On rooftops, it lingers.
Could the killer have used this as a hideout?
It's a great place to hide, certainly. But there hasn't been anyone here in ages.
Are you sure? Kim, I can't see the whirling in rags. The shot didn't come from here.
Indeed. No one could get a clear view. Well, at least we've been thorough.
The lieutenant's voice betrays a slight disappointment, which he glosses over by reasserting control.
But what about the roof? So we just scratched this out? So it's island.
A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes.
Oh, it's a
The
massive.
plaque reads, K. Mazov. There is a spider web in the lower left corner of the portrait. Years' worth of dust is shaken off. The full head of hair, matched by an ample moustache and sideburns, look a bit silly.
Is that Mazov guy? This must have been the hiding place of some naive leftist.
Some radical or radicals were hiding out here. They left a long time ago.
A long time ago? How long?
Half a century? This was probably part of the network of defense posts the communards built against the amphibious landing.
He looks around.
I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted.
Was with all these secret weapons caches and secret bunkers.
We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is, no one has gone through the trouble of cleaning out the old bunkers.
Maybe I should move in here, seems cozy.
I won't stand in your way, but only after we're through with this case.
Tch. Could someone have stopped through here recently?
You mean like Ruby? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history.
He looks at the dust. Let's go. So, can I actually come here to sleep? Doesn't look like that, because in other places it's usually the bed is highlighted, but not here. The footprints. Footprints in the sand. One of the soles appears more worn than the other. It's getting louder, the buzzing or sound.
You feel something, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell.
Lieutenant, do you feel something?
No. What do you mean?
A pain, a strange tingling.
I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh.
My spider senses. I saw them too, footprints with the right sole worn smooth.
Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully.
What do you mean?
Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over.
You will upset the balance of power in Martinez. The deadlock between the company and the Union will destabilize. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
Huh. So, in other words, they're trying to say to me that it's going to turn into endgame, and I need to actually slow down if I want to continue side quests or not, or it will just change slightly. We found out Everard's plan to make the harbor. Maybe we should tell Joyce about it.
I leave that to your judgment. You already know what I think about cross-pollinating information like this. It's dangerous, but...
He just can't be sure. Maybe it will yield something useful.
Okay, I actually need to fucking write it down. There's so much. One sec. So, tell Joyce. We know what Joyce knows about the murder, but I may have other things to discuss with her.
Yes. There won't be time for that once things go down. Matter of fact, I don't think there's time for it now, but...
If you must.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's still like on the task, but there's no highlighted conversation options. So it's about talking about the basic reality. We've still got our date with the pigs and my gun.
We absolutely cannot skip that appointment. Consider that 100% confirmed. I fear you'll need your gun for this.
His hand rests on his holster. It's not enough. You need a gun in your hand too. Your gun.
We've checked the boy out with the Class E's documents. I want to hear her take on why it was empty before.
Okay, why not? Whatever goes
Yeah, I
down
forgot
will
about
also
that
affect
too.
her. The Union is watching her closely now.
Also, she's not classy. She is Katarin Zina. Talk to Katarin Zina.
Not closely enough, you suspect. But still, good idea to visit her once more.
What do you mean visit her? Ah, fucking hell. Again. Didn't really thought this through. Do you think whatever happens will affect our cryptozoologists?
You mean Morel? I don't see how cryptozoology and the murder investigation are connected. But the situation in the city will get tense for everyone.
But I think we ended that shit. I mean, we could still look for the Phasmid, but they are gone, right? Or at least they are not going to go in the field anymore. How bad do you think things could get?
Well, we are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground.
What? You expect a civil war? Just begin after we do it? It didn't seem too bad, like the Hardy Boys were happy for us to catch her. I don't know.
If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done.
What do you think is waiting for us there?
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking.
Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.
Yeah, I think it just tells me not to go there until I'm sure I got all the side quests. But it never told me anything about the church thing, so it might not be affected. But I do want a gun for this. There's something in the air, an unusual buzzing. The tunnel collapsed, you'll have to find another way around, so I want to go back. And yeah, we weren't sneaking, really. What about this? Uh-oh, actually. Postcard Martini is 98. A faded picture postcard from the end of the last century shows Martini's as it was before the revolution. It's the height of summer. Rue de Saint-Ghislaine is teeming with the parasol-wielding bourgeoisie, and wild pines flags butters the walkway. Nothing is written on the back. The glass is covered with grime and dust. You can barely see out. Come on. The central support beam has been destroyed by artillery fire. Why there is no question that the shot could have come from here? Like, it's a high point. A good sniper nest. Well, a possible sniper nest. Nothing else? Some glitches are on the screen there. Okay, let's go to the church. Also, we'll have to wait until it's 10 too. And after we get our gun, if we get our gun, I mean, well, let's not go too far ahead, but yeah, if we get our gun, I can end the investigation by going here. Maybe we'll have to something else to talk about.
Hello again.
Oh. Blood drips from your knuckles to the stand. Drip, drip, drip. Strange that Kim didn't react to this. I was yelling. Ah, shit!
Hey, her Innocence Dolores Day liked little figurines, right? Liked holding little men between her fingers, remember?
What?
You have the Headless Fallen Rider figurine. You should give it to her. Win her back.
Is this the only way I can actually use it? What? Win her who back? I can't win her back. She's a long dead historical figure.
Don't be so pessimistic. Love doesn't die that easily. This isn't funny. You have a bad feeling about this one.
Forget about this. I don't know. This is a task of mine now. No, fuck that.
No, it would have been beautiful. Really tiny, thoughtful. Klep, whatever this was. It feels like you made the right choice not to peek into it.
Eh. I don't want to go on the path of original. What I forgot, that I could actually pick into the computer first and see what's on the file element before I give it to her. I hope I'm not on the timer, because they told me that we don't know for how long it could be out of the fridge. I'll try to make it quick. I wonder if the ice maker lady has anything else to say. It's been a long time.
Oh, it's you again.
Shit.
Are you looking for a dye?
Legendary shivers. Why hasn't her business failed? Well, let's try a little bit harder, I guess. So shivers, it was this and this.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a...
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here.
What? Taking off clothes? What the fuck?
She has begun to idly clean one of her carving tools with a...
Yeah. Let's not do damage.
Your flashlight, some of the writing... This old a diagram, the whole thing resembles... Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in like a smooth draw. The filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking. The speaker comes...
Good afternoon. Fortress accident. Please repeat. Is this the offset copy?
I might have a password for the offside copy.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Afterlife, death.
No, that's not it.
Shit.
Maybe it's the second part of the leitmotif you saw on the stained glass window.
After death, life again.
Good. I've unlocked the offside copy. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament.
Ka-ching.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Thank you.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. It sounds like something cracks. Before the piece of paper, the paper is soaked with ink. Its monochrome darkness spanning from margin to margin. It's not possible to make out any information.
What happened? It's just covered in ink.
Odd. Something is obviously broken here.
Well, we know it's damaged.
A single speck of white shines out from the shade. For some reason, the printer decided to spare this one tiny dot of paper. Marked by the devil itself. Looks like gibberish. Better get running again. This must be the information Sorna is looking for. She knows how to make sense of it. Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys shine on the keyboard. The filament slides out of its glowing.
Well, it didn't really give us much, but it's a good insight, I guess. Because she's not very sharing person. She's very frustrated for some reason. I also, I think, want to keep some money, because we probably need to pay for our gun. Right?
Yes, what is it? Yes?
I brought you a filament.
Thanks. Looks like it's the one.
She takes the filament, inspecting the metallic tape on its side. What's going to happen now?
Now I'm going to print it out to see what's left of it.
Don't waste your time printing it out. There is nothing but a speck of white in a sea of ink. It's broken.
A speck of white? That's exactly what I'm hoping to find.
She sounds excited as the filament clicks into place. What do you mean?
Lintel was able to divine the location of the anomaly from this broken copy. I want to repeat their calculation, only this time with better equipment. Watch. What an intricate display of failure.
She presses print on the machine's keyboard.
The paper gets soaked in ink again, its evil blackness shining in the light of the mainframe. It looks eerie. It's the abyss staring back at you.
Play it cool. They're scared of the computers. Now what?
Sorna doesn't reply, her hands running over the printout. She's looking for something. For her morning star. Eyes scouring the millimeters.
Here. I found it.
She suddenly says, raising her ink-stained fingertip. Is that white dot in the same place I saw it before when I printed it out?
Hold on.
She's behind the keyboard now, typing in some numbers that only she understands. The terminal beeps and the light inside starts pulsing like a glowing heart. Can I do anything?
Just give me a second. I'm almost...
She clocks up her typing speed.
I've never witnessed a programmer work before.
Done. I've got it. I found the location of the anomaly.
Suna jumps up from the keyboard like a spring. There's joy in her voice as she pumps her fist into air. You did it, you found the coordinates.
I found the coordinates.
She lets out a celebratory laugh.
She's beaming. You can feel it in your heart.
Oh my god, congratulations.
Thank you.
So where is it? So where is a 2mm hole in the world?
There. In the swallow.
She points at the other end of the church where a group of water bowls forms a ritualistic arch. But I already knew that.
Think you can help me again?
Sure.
I need you to go move those water bowls for me. I need to double check my calculations.
What an interesting proposition. Truly a task for the intellectuals, solving the puzzle of water bowls.
Right, I'll go figure it out. I'm good at intellectual puzzles.
Figure it out? No. I don't need you to figure anything out. I've got a computer for that.
She shakes her head, grinning. She pats the mainframe.
Just walk over to the circle and follow my instructions. Move the third bowl 2 centimeters to the left, and the fourth bowl 5 centimeters to the right. This should do the trick.
Are they marked? Do I need to even remember this? Third ball 2mm to the left. Fourth ball 5 centimeters to the right.
What? She only wants you to follow instructions. Nothing intellectually stimulating. In this task, a child could do it.
What, you don't trust my intellectual capabilities to solve this problem on my own?
Come on. It's not about your brain. Even I couldn't figure it out on my own. Can you please just go and move the water bowls?
I guess it's one of those problematic suggestions. Which one of these are third and fourth?
It's awfully silent again, as if someone turned off the entire world outside those walls. Water inside the bowls stands still. Measurements have been marked down around the bowls, each chalk-drawn line representing a centimeter
Yeah, I
on
don't
the
actually
floor.
need to think.
It moves like a ghost without creating a single trace of sound. This task is an insult to your mental skills.
Ow.
Some water spills out of the bowl, wetting the floor. The lead programmer sends you an encouraging thumbs up from across the hall. Time to run back, or maybe walk. This is a sacred place after all.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yes, what is it?
Have moved the balls. It was mind-numbingly easy. What's next?
Great. Everything should be aligned now.
I thought she said move on by 2 millimeters, the first one.
Miss Know-It-All is hesitating.
I guess I mixed it up. Oh, what's wrong?
Yeah. Nothing. Now the only thing left to do is to unmute the headphones. If we got the location right, we should then be able to hear whatever sound this anomaly makes.
It isn't supposed to be silence. Isn't it? Why? Wait. Why did you have your headphones on mute in the first place?
Honestly, I'm a little scared.
She's avoiding your gaze. Isn't it going to be just silence and nothing else?
I don't know. That's what I'm scared of. I don't know. It could be anything.
She stares at the heart of the computer.
I mean, what sound does the nothing make? How can you even listen to something that doesn't exist?
She turns to face you, the mainframe throwing shadows on her chin.
What if silence is only what surrounds it, but the swallow itself is...
She grows silent, her face very pale in the cold light of electricity. You are overthinking this.
Maybe I'm just tired.
She rubs her face.
Let's think about this logically. Why would nothing be terrifying if it's, well, nothing?
I mean, if death is nothing, why is it terrifying? Why assume that something that has no presence, existence, or qualities has to be terrifying?
Because it reminds us of death. And we humans tend to think that death is pretty scary.
Death is scary. You can't just start over again. Or can you?
It's scary, but we just have to face it.
Yeah, you're right. Let's do it.
She breathes in.
The lieutenant takes a step back.
Oh, even Kim's scared.
And then, nothing. Nothing happens as Sona Lokinen-Kilda presses unmute on her keyboard. Nothing but silence. You can hear some small animal cross the floor in the chancel. It's that quiet in the sanctuary.
Can you hear anything?
She doesn't answer. Her eyes closed and brows knitted together in a state of deep focus, one hand cupping the headphone.
Well?
Damn it!
She lets out a loud sigh before tearing off her fat headphones. She's still avoiding your gaze. Come on, did you hear anything?
No, of course not. Nothing happened. Let's move on.
She says, clearly disappointed.
Despite her fear, she was hoping for something extraordinary to take place.
What do you mean nothing happened? Did you find a swallow?
No.
She rests her face on her hands, massaging the forehead.
No. My hypothesis was wrong. According to this, I should have heard something, if I got the coordinates right. Like I said, silence is only what surrounds it. But this is just another failure. Silence sounds like silence. That's all it is.
She raises her hands, staring at all the machines that litter the church, cables coiling up on the floor like pests.
You can try on the headphones. See if you can hear anything. But don't get your hopes up.
Silence is silence? You're sure there's more to it? This can't be it. You should have a listen.
Aye. 42% legendary hearing. Shit. Is there even perception? I remember boots. -1. Not helpful. Yeah, only damaging perception so far. Actually, I'll go grab some speed. This couldn't be our the pig.
Our Canada, please.
There was also an old woman in the apartments, but yeah, she didn't seem to be threatening. I thought Ruby had our gun. Wait, fuck.
The legend is here. You know the drill. Smoke up, Pilsner up, buy the beautiful bottle of blue spirits. It's magic.
Wait, where is Speed? Huh. I guess it was only his one thing? Huh. Well, shit. I guess I'll have to go in raw. It was he who sold it, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yes, what is it?
Everything
Nice.
disappears. You are draped in silence like a drowning man staring into his puny little headspace. And then the pressure changes.
What does it mean?
It feels like flying on an aerostatic. or when your ears pop, or like a subtle difference in the atmosphere, a weather change hanging in the air. What if the sound you're looking for is too low for you to hear it?
Suna, take off the headphones. What if we just need a better sound system?
A better sound system? Alright, but where would we get one?
She repeats.
Suddenly, a rhythmic beat permeates the wall,
The
causing a small
boombox.
patch of decorative stucco to crumble onto the wooden floor.
They should really allocate some renovation
Or-
funds to this place.
Those guys in the tent, I guess. Murmurs the lieutenant, inspecting the damage done to the arabesques.
No. What they really should do is shut down the disco men for disturbing neighborhood peace.
Yes, but they could help with the speakers.
You mean the speed freaks?
She closes her eyes and more dance music invades the holy silence of the sanctuary.
Of course. The speed freaks. They have a fantastic sound system. And you think they would help me?
Sure, if you agree to let them build their drug lab.
No, officer. I don't agree to anything.
She pauses, looking you in the eye.
But most of the time I'm fully absorbed in my work with the radio computer. And there are still parts of the church I haven't had time to explore, so...
She then goes on.
What she means is that she's ready to turn a blind eye if the need arises.
Great, I'll go talk to them then.
Sure. Let me know how it goes. Thank...
What if I didn't? What if I failed the perception check there? It really encourages you to be average. Like, I think the best strat would be just putting points, spreading points evenly first, and then putting points in things that you need to do at this moment.
Hi again. So, how are things going? Yes? What's the deal?
Good news, I managed to convince Suna she's okay with you guys moving in, but on one condition: she needs your speakers for her project.
We are grateful, Cotman. You're an augury of a new era of Nordic dance music.
The speed freak smiles, happier than he's ever been before. You're going to have to share space for a couple of weeks until she gets her research finished.
That's fine. We can manage.
He grins, excited.
And you haven't changed your mind about our little side business, have you?
I am a man of my word.
All right. It's going to take us a bit to move our stuff inside. A couple of hours, maybe. Come check back later. Let's get moving.
He waves to the other speed freaks. Alright. We still have a bunch of things to do. Yeah,
Yes,
actually,
what
I
is it?
like the silence more. How's the project going? I see that your neighbors have moved in, but all I hear is anodic dance music.
What? What did you say?
She leans closer, eyes knitted together in a puzzled expression. You can barely hear her over the thumping bass of anodic dance music. I said, how's the project going?
I can't hear you.
She
The
shouts.
music is too loud.
She shouts, pointing at the enormous speaker that's churning out the sound. The project, how is it going?
Oh, the project! It's not going well.
Her face lights up for a second before she gives you an exaggerated head shake. Why?
There's that guy. I need him to plug a 3.5 cable into the auxiliary input so that I can route the audio signal through the mixer into the speakers.
But can't you communicate with them yourself, you know? Why do I need to be the one who fucking talks to them? Like, you're here. Why don't you just ask him?
He doesn't listen to me. He only ever seems to care about hardcore and Yekukata. A place to be, apparently.
I'll speak to him, see what I can do.
Thanks. Maybe you can get through his magic rhymes.
She does the jazz hands to mock him.
Let me know how it goes.
Delarian Church, the place to be! Make some noise, my church people!
Large speakers are set up behind the young man, blasting a familiar sound.
Vibrations thump. through
Behind
the
him?
rooms.
I don't see anything behind
The
him.
music sounds much better in the church. He stands on stage behind a table, nodding along to the music and waving his hand in the air. In front of him, the audio mixer, one reel spinning. The other reel deck is empty. Cables run hither and thither. On one side you see an auxiliary line in with the number 4.5 written next to it.
How do you like it in a church?
Yeah! Back on the case! No disgrace! Bring it down to party place!
He pumps his fist in the air.
The first page of the second chapter!
His voice echoes all around the grand hall.
Could it be? Maybe for him, you only have a chapter or two left in you. Last of the penultimate, more like.
Can you please route Suna's signal through your speakers?
To the mega! Yeah! I can route it through auxiliary! What kind of a cable does she use? 3.5 or 4.5?
It's 3.5, no doubt about it. It's on the ground.
Oh, she uses 3.5. Yeah. The auxiliary lining is 4.5 millimeter. These two don't mix.
Oh no, we're going to be in this church forever.
The lieutenant closes his eyes.
Don't worry, I have an adapter for it right here.
He searches for the cable on the ground and picks it up, looking at the jack.
Hang on, this is a 4.5. We're all good people.
Huh. With a grin, he sticks the plug into the auxiliary line in. You hear a satisfying click.
Great! Someone got through to him. Okay, let's get it all set up. Can we turn the music off, please?
So, was she wrong, or the egghead didn't know it was 4.5 or 3.5 in the first place.
Everybody! Everybody! Don't panic! I'm going to turn off the honor for just a sec for a special scheduled event.
The young man shouts as he clicks a switch on the mixer.
The honor will be back, but we're doing something else for one moment. All right, go tell her that Egghead is ready to rave to her tunes, and then I'll turn off the music.
Alright, goodbye, Egghead.
Yes, what is it?
Alright, I talked to Egghead. He plugged in the cable. You can now unmute your speakers.
Okay, but think you can ask him to turn the volume down a bit? Just in case.
Maximum!
Shouts Egghead, a great smile still adorning his face, larger than a red dwarf star.
Maximum is the only way!
I know it is, but could you please turn it down just this instance? Just this one time? Maximum is not the only way, okay?
Pump it to the brick! Pump it to the hard master! There's no other way! Glue style!
See? He pumps it to the hard master. It's hopeless.
Why do you want to turn down the volume?
Because I'm afraid that something might happen. It's an unknown phenomenon. We can always turn it back up if there's a need.
Can't turn down the hardcore!
I think the Egghead is trying to say is that the volume button is stuck on maximum.
Of course it is.
She shrugs, consigned to her fate.
Yeah! Permanent enlightenment! Ray of sound!
Never mind then. Let's get on with our project. I'm going to unmute the speakers on a count of 5. Everyone ready?
She looks around the church.
Egghead pumps his hand up in the air, waiting for the beat to drop.
Born ready.
Says Andre.
Ready.
Yells. No, and he didn't yell.
I'm ready if you two are detectives.
The lieutenant nods stoically.
Yeah, how the hell you would have heard them from so far away when Suna can hear us just talking right next to her?
Suddenly, your palms are sweaty. The church seems cold and large, somehow.
Okay, ready.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mute disengaged.
No wind outside, no waves, no floorboards creaking. Total, continuous silence. This is unnatural. The woman looks around. In the silence, you see dust move on the floorboards. The driver of the speaker vibrates in the air and then stops. Plasterwork begins to crumble down the walls. In the silence, a low hum starts creeping up your spine. It's a song inside you, not in the speakers, not in the room. A great bass sigh in the basement of your mind. Slowly, it builds until the air around you starts to vibrate. It's out there now, in the world, made manifest. The floorboards, the glass, the streets and the people. Nothing will remain.
Guys, what's going on?
There's an alarm in the man's voice as he steps back to scan surroundings. A slight rattle like crystal clattering in the cupboard fills the air, joining the chorus. I hope we haven't released the pail.
getting louder.
His eyes, says Noid, his eyes reverted on the strange circle of water basins.
In the basins, the water looks like it's boiling.
Hosiana! Mother of Mega!
You hear Egghead yell, then something else, but his voice is growing faint.
In his mind, a tidal wave approaching from afar, swallowing entire coastlines on its way. Salvation.
Hey, what's that weird rattling sound?
The beauty and the beat! The future of dance! Planetary!
No, Egg! It's the window!
The glass shards around Dolores Day's vacant heart appear to be vibrating from the sound. It almost looks as if she's alive.
In the corner of your eye, the lieutenant steps aside, cautiously, his eyes searching for a possible evacuation route.
The window is going to come down! No, the roof!
Uh-oh. She looks up as Screech fills the air, a scream of wood and nails. The pillars of the church twist and creak above and around you.
Cracks appear on the stained glass window. Cracks run up the wooden pillars in the dark.
You can turn it off, you know.
Come down to us! Love!
It's shaking the building's foundation. The floor twists.
That's it. I'm muting it.
Yeah, we should... I mean, I can always load. Everybody don't panic, it's a beautiful.
Beautiful car! Beautiful life!
Shit! It doesn't stop. A seal? Have you?
Break the speaker then. The woman is furiously pressing down on her keyboard, but the sound doesn't stop. Or just cut the cable or unplug it.
Yes, I've turned it off.
She yells, holding the contact mic in her hand.
Andre, pull the compressor! The place is gonna come down!
Fuck! I can't shut it up! The signal's passed! It's not in here! It's...
In the mixing desk now, building into a positive feedback loop. This is it. A great roar. The vault of the roof twists above you. Glass shatters somewhere near the door. It's coming down.
So it... what? It's like transferred to the tape? Okay, it's in a desk.
And then it stops. Totally and utterly. As if there never was a sound. Only your ears still ring from the shock. Everybody is staring at Egghead, holding a dangling cable in his hand. A black 3-pin connector.
Egg.
I pulled the plug. It was getting too hardcore.
He says calmly.
You did good, Egg. Most of the place seems to be intact. Fucking hell. Programmer lady, tell me you were recording that.
4 years. 22 people. Millions of reals. All that time, this is what we were up against. Just erased it. Suliswolf isn't gonna believe this.
What is this about? Her lips trembles.
Yeah, but did you record it though? It was dope. I think we can use it.
Yes, Andre. I recorded it. Damn, I need to send some letters now.
She composes herself, wipes the dust off her sweater and rests her hands on the keyboard.
Thank you all for doing this. Eggman, you too. And you, officer. I don't know what we've discovered, but I know what it sounds like now. That's a start.
She turns to you. Kim, did you hear that?
It was very hard not to. I think you're right. There is something going on here. And you need to be very careful with it.
I promise, officer. We will not play it again.
What was that? I've never heard anything like that.
It was mathematical information from the anomaly, presented as a waveform. That's what it was technically. Theoretically,
She shakes her head.
I have no idea. I've never even heard of anything like this.
A voice seems muffled in the silent church. It's your ears adjusting after the exposure.
You are going to write Sulislav?
Yes, our lead designer. And maybe some of the producers too. And some of the writers. If they're sober enough to open a transmission. They need to hear.
I mean, how is that related to the game? They are trying to make... I mean, now they are not trying because it failed. What are they even doing? It could be a nice discovery, though.
That it wasn't her fault. Or theirs.
They need to hear about this. Don't worry, I won't send the recording. Although I doubt they have the speakers to produce the frequency anyway.
What happens now? Are you going to...
Stay here! I'm going to stay here with these lunatics. Send letters, maybe meet Suliswolf. Also devise further measurements.
She cuts you off, her deft fingers already on the keyboard.
I want you to know that's totally chill with us.
I don't care, but thank you anyway.
She blurts, then reconsiders.
That's the best she can manage for Andre. It's quite a lot in truth. For her, at least.
Now, I have a theory to come up with. Some kind of preliminary explanation to all this. Or the letter will sound like I've lost my mind.
Yes, and we have to get back to stabilizing Martinez. Instead of demolishing it with loud bass noise of unknown origins.
He breathes out, trying to shake off tension. I mean, if the water boiled in the basins, it's the same effect that we know Pale has on the ocean in the edges of the world. So it must be part of it. We almost just produced this Pale effect.
Some tiny hard thing lets go in your stomach. You're still alive.
Almost opened a black hole, basically.
You have an explanation for all this.
Oh,
Somewhere
wow.
deep in you, you know.
I'm a
The
genius.
person you were knows.
Heard of doomed commercial area, investigated doomed commercial area, heard of motorway south. Motorway south complete. Cop of the apocalypse. Not bad.
You don't have to. You already have. A long time ago.
Wait, how?
These thoughts formed in you somewhere, in a long-forgotten discussion, behind a kitchen table, in the evening light, drinking coffee and smoking, with a friend.
Suna, it's the origin point of the Pale.
What?
The swallow, it's how it starts. It's baby Pale. Yeah, just as I proposed in the beginning. I like that.
But Pale isn't here. We're thousands of kilometers from the edge.
No, we are 20 meters from the very edge.
She looks up into the darkness under the nave. then back at you. You have her full, undivided attention. The lieutenant's, too. He takes his glasses off.
The pale is only an effect, a transition between the world and that.
Then, what is that?
It's nothing. No, it's less than nothing. No.
It's less than nothing. The final rest state of reality. Imagine if all this, spread your hands, never was.
Then the pale is...
Curdling milk? What's this supposed to mean? Simply a gradient.
But the gradient, it clearly hasn't started yet. We're here, and the pale is not.
One day, when it's larger, it will be.
I understand. A theory of the pale where instead of an outer ocean, it metastasizes. Like a cancer or a mold. Erupting in points inside the world.
Yes, this is one of those places.
According to this, how long?
Until it starts swallowing, it's already starting with sound.
And information, causing data losses in the East Insulindian front. Have you considered why it's formed in a church? And also when or how it might start growing, or if it has other effects in addition to sound and data?
Well, we have a crab man.
An intellectual hunger fills her now, casting fear aside.
I also have a question, since we are piling them on. How do you know this? I'm not doubting you. I'm simply curious as to how a detective of the RCM...
He explains.
Knows how to think this.
Yeah, the church, I think, formed around it. They found an anomaly and then decided that it's related to religion. But I don't really have any evidence to support that, though. It didn't form in a church. The church formed around it.
Of course! A pinewood sarcophagus, or a containment facility of some kind, built by the first settlers.
She looks for words. Yes, acting on an instinctual level, or religious practices we've forgotten.
I have considered the same. The bad news is, there were 7 pinewood churches built in the first decade of provincial settlement. Most of them were burnt down during the revolution, or repurposed before, during the suzerain. I'm not saying all of them have one in them, but...
All the failed businesses in the doomed commercial area, all the failure in Martinez.
You think the presence of that puncture has somehow influenced the outcome of events here? Even say software development?
I mean, it's so far away from the place. Might have influenced my loss of memory too, I guess. If it influenced the flash card, the filament, in the abandoned commercial area, like the effect is surprisingly widespread.
She already made up her mind when she heard it. Some kind of great and uncaring force had to play a part. It wasn't only them.
all the failed businesses and ideologies. There is something wrong here.
I told the producers we need to go and move to a normal office building with amenities. But no, the artists like the milieu, the writers like the history. I told them.
She shakes her head. Well, they had no idea. I should let people still working in there know about this. They might be affected. Why that building exactly, though?
You mean Plaisance and the dice maker? There was almost no one left when we packed up.
Yes, both of them deserve to know.
Then go tell them.
I think I've had this thought before. That's how I know. Actually, fuck. We played a con with the Plaisance. I forgot it for a second. Should have only told the dice maker. I think I've had this thought before. That's how I know.
An amateur anthropomedic police officer. I'd like to say I've heard stranger things, but I'm not sure. This is a hell of a guess, however. Well worded, I might add.
Yes, it is very interesting. But I wouldn't say you know. This is a guess. One that's going to have to be proved by anthroponetic scientists.
One day all the world will be like that 2mm hole.
She falls silent. The wind blows in through the hole in the stained glass window.
Another thought.
Cold and moist.
I'm going to leave that.
Gotta do that too.
But the rest? Some of this I can use to start to explain this to the rest of the team. Maybe I'll sound mad, but...
Man, you will certainly sound mad.
One more thing. Maybe a club for anodic music isn't the worst thing you can erect around this particular point in space.
Is it actually fighting off the silence, or it doesn't really matter? Yeah, that's still insane, but then again, so am I.
Yeah! Once the light is on in the universe, it will never go out!
Thank you, Egghead. Let's leave it at that, shall we? We have an anthropomedic detection to perform in this district.
Cleaning out the rooms. 5 hour. Someone's been walking around in your dreams lately, looking for something, tidying up, rearranging, storing away all the unrealized dreams, putting old pains in boxes. The worst nightmares have settled down for a while. A spot of light on the bedroom door after the dark, the fluttering eye of eyelids in the spring sun. A thought that arises only to disappear again, and yet there is a pattern emerging. So we have this, and we have the one more door, which is only 45 minutes. This is 5 hours. I guess let's go with that. I do have one mystery that still needs solving, the radio ghost in the doomed commercial area's electronic doorbell.
The creepy woman! We were wondering about that when we worked there, but I had completely forgotten about it ever since. It must be anthroponetic crosstalk, the one you get in radios and long-distance calls. Now it makes sense, with the pail right on the doorstep.
Incredible. This would also explain why we get it on the police radio all the time.
Anthroponetic crosstalk?
It's quite common, actually. When the signal gets routed through pail, all kinds of irregularities take place. You may hear snippets of someone else's conversation, or the voice of your former lover, or an echo of an event that took place 100 years ago. Pale is a shroud of memories, and it doesn't really distinguish to whom those memories belong to. You could hear anything.
That makes sense. Thanks for explaining that to me.
Anytime.
Now that your project is finished, can you help me contact Coalition Warship Archer?
You're asking me to circuit bend onto coalition radio frequencies. You want to know is it possible? Probably. But is it a good idea? I'm not so sure. The main difficulty will be finding an antenna powerful enough to reach those frequencies. Unfortunately, you can't exactly buy mega long-wave antennas off the shelf.
She's not joking. Even the RCM has to receive special approval from the Coalition to access that kind of equipment.
The radio relay tower at the Land's End, could that work?
I highly doubt it. That tower is barely able to transmit shortwave signals across the bay. To generate megalo frequencies, we're going to need a much larger antenna.
She has an idea, though. You can see the tiny signal lights firing inside her brain.
I don't see any alternative. We're just going to have to build the antenna ourselves.
Why don't we just use your AR-1?
Because it's a completely different class of antenna. It would be like using a high-end racing carriage where a long-distance lorry is required. We need metal, a lot of it. The taller the structure, the better. Something that is both prominent and easily accessible. If it's near a power source, even better.
Is it going to be the fucking rider statue? Horseman? Do I have concept items? I must have, right? Up.
Yes, what is it?
Close your eyes. Unfold your mental map of Martinez. It's morning. You're standing on the plaza before the whirling in rags.
Yeah, the last one is roundabout. That's exactly where the statue is.
Your eye follows the tiles west. You see a bench and a few twisted, pitiful trees. Then, just water. Beyond the unkempt backyard rises a monstrous assemblage of
Would be nice if there was no music
plaster
at this
and
moment, actually,
corrugated
because
sheet
it's
metal.
implied that it's a concentrated state of his mind right now. Or it was like muffled. Turn to face the roundabout.
You turn around. The morning sun is blinding.
I don't know how that
Bring your hand to
fucking
your brow, and a
can
great
work.
shadow materializes before you. A towering beast, frozen in mid-air.
The statue of Philippe III.
The dead king and his horse. It could work.
It may work, you think, but why do you feel like there may be a terrible cost?
We'll need an adequate power supply and a great quantity of cable. If we connect the cables to some of the stranded lorries, we could theoretically increase the antenna's wavelength exponentially.
So you are saying?
Quiet. I'm doing maths. Yes, assuming we can find just a few pieces of equipment. It's completely ridiculous, but I believe we could transform the entire roundabout into one solid fractal antenna.
A note of awe in her voice. She's shocked and pleased by her own audacity.
The Herald of Destruction. Sure, that's legal. I feel like I'm going to need to apologize to someone. We shall call it the Herald of Destruction.
What you choose to call it isn't my concern. I'm only here to tell you what's feasible or not from a technical viewpoint. I have plenty of cables and amplifiers on hand. The power supply, I will secure on my own. All we require now is the radio transceiver itself.
Where am I supposed to find that radio transceiver?
I cannot answer that for you, but I don't expect it to be that difficult. There's no shortage of radios around here. If you have real to spare, you might even be able to buy one. But it doesn't really matter where it comes from, so long as it works.
Does boombox count?
And before you ask, no, you can't have the radio from Machinima.
You know what, Kim? I'll find an even better radio on my own.
I highly doubt that. When I crank the volume on my dyno wave, it's like you're in the front row at the National Concert Hall.
Alright, Kim's challenge accepted.
There is no need to go out of your way to find a top-shelf radio for this purpose. As long as it's functional, that is what counts.
Can't we just use your RAM prefect?
Absolutely not. My RAM prefect is my livelihood. If something were to go wrong, it would be a disaster.
Do radio computers have transceivers in them? There's a second one.
Certainly, though it requires a fair amount of technical finesse to remove them. Frankly, it's not worth the bother. Just find a regular radio.
I think I saw a radio in that office near the harbor. Office near the harbor? I saw a radio next to my room in Berlin in Rags.
That sounds like a perfectly adequate radio.
Office near the harbor? Alright, I guess I need to find one of these transceivers then.
In the meantime, I will gather the rest of the materials.
Well, I'll have to go now. It's still nice, there's so much going on, it's still rolling. I was afraid that I would run out of things to do before the night. Oops. So yeah. Till next 2 days, I'll be out. Thanks for hanging out. Bye bye.